Welcome once again to Kingdom Business Network. This is your program that brings business tips on how you can run your business. We are here for you. We would want to make sure that you are well equipped to succeed in your business endeavors. And with us today, we have a very interesting topic on where to find the money. So this is going to be quite interesting. So tag a friend, ask them to come and listen. And in case you're watching us on Faith Today Television, you can also watch us on Facebook and also on YouTube. On YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, and you'll help us with the algorithm. And on my immediate left is Enoch, who is my co-host. I'd want him to introduce himself and also introduce the speaker. Welcome, Enoch.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. It's always a pleasing pleasure to be part of this show, and I'm really excited. My name is Enoch from House of Faith, and for the young people, it's quite an interesting topic and subject that we picked from last time. You well know that we got great insights from Bishop Dr. Jackson, and today we have another chance to really dive into this topic and understand more about this challenging question, money. We are in unprecedented times whereby there is so much content that the young people are bombarded with on social media and internet, displaying opulence, wealth of a few individuals. And the illusion is that we have to be those kinds of people for us to really amass this wealth. But from the discussion we had last week, you all know that it is a different approach. It's a different approach altogether. So I encourage you, I beseech every young person, wherever you are, this is a time for you to really understand how the money game works. And from a spiritual perspective, we have an oracle in this country, Bishop Dr. Jackson. Once again, you don't want to miss this. And allow me, with all the gratitude, to introduce Dr. Jackson. You are welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself once again so we can have the show get started.
Wow, thank you so much for the reception and the welcome to this exciting program. My name is Dr. Jackson Kingori, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning and to have this dialogue and discussion on how to find money. All of us need money in one way or another. I don't know what to say, but basically I pretty much live in Texas, Dallas, but I am kind of now here in Kenya. And I am a bishop by calling. I'm also a businessman, entrepreneur, a mentor, a father, and so I put different hats. So I believe I have something that I can offer to the people in one dimension or another. Thank you.
Maybe you can also add and tell us what's your church in Dallas and how is it like?
All right. Yeah. Our church in Dallas is called Neema Gospel Church. We are located in the city of Dallas in the state of Texas in the U.S. We also have a branch in North Carolina in Raleigh, which is the capital of North Carolina. We also have chapters or branches in Kenya, but the main church, the head office, is in Dallas, Texas.
Wonderful, and welcome once again, Dr. Jackson Kingori. Last time was really terrific, and we really enjoyed the discussion.
Sure.
And I remember you told us about money, and you said money has got a soul, a spirit, and a body. Might be for the sake of the viewer who is listening to us today, you can just briefly touch on that, in short.
Thank you, Dr. Mungai. Yes, money has those three tripartite. It has a soul, it has a body, and also have a spirit. And by the way, I should also hear that money has ears. Money hears. And money can run away from you if you mistreat it. That's why I always advise people, when you are dealing with money or when you're making an offering, don't fold it. You're actually messing it up. You're actually injuring the spirit of money.
Sure.
No wonder. Have you ever asked yourself, how come people who are struggling with money and they're giving that they want to fold it so crisply than people who have a lot of money? It tells you something about that. Yeah. So when you talk about money has has a spirit, I would like to say that Again, before you do that, let me say that there are 3 ways you can use money. Number 1, you can waste it. Number 2, you can spend it. And number 3, you can save it. On the other thing, another triped part of the money is that money has a past, and money has a present, and money also has a future. But money having a soul, or let me go back to money have a spirit. The Bible in the book of Matthew chapter 6 verses 22, 23 there to 24, it says that money is a mammon. And the Hebrew definition of mammon is money, which is a god. In fact, Jesus said it's a god. So it tells you that money is compared to God himself. But God, of course, in capital G. But mammon, which is money, is small g. And so that tells you that anything that is a god, whether it is living or dead, has a spirit. And so when we talk about the spirit of money, is what controls the impasse, what controls our decisions, what manipulates us to do what we want to do. I mean, your spirit is the dominant thing that controls you or tells you what to do. And that's why we say money has a spirit. It is the only thing that's comparable to God, money. And it's true because the Bible also says the love of money is the root of all evil. You can converse that and say the love of God is the root of all blessings.
So the opposite of that.
The opposite is true.
And it's also interesting that the Bible also says that money answereth all things.
Exactly.
So it's very strange that money can answer all things, yet God can do all things.
I like that. I love that, yes. Then the soul of money is actually the value of money in the marketplace. Now, money is universal, but currency is geographical, meaning that money is used everywhere in the world, but the value of every currency is limited to that territory. That's why if you have 1,000 Kenyan shillings, the value of that is different from $1,000 in the US. So that helps you to understand the soul of money. So the soul of money is the currency or the value of the money. And the body of the money is the note that you carry in your pocket. It's the paper. Yeah. And that paper has no value by itself unless it has a soul, which is now the value of money. Yes.
You said money has got ears.
Yes.
So how do you call it, and how does it hear, and how does it come?
Metamorphically, I would say that if you're afraid of money, you tend to be kind and be generous and to be respectful and honorable to people who have money. But if you're always complaining and you're always accusing even people with money, it's healing you and it's going to run away. So I think one way I would say you can call out money is to be afraid of money, to love, not, I mean, I don't get in trouble here because it's to like money but not love money. Yes, like money but don't love money. And we all like money. Who doesn't want money? I love money because it helps me to accomplish quite a lot of things that I can't without money. All of us need money. So I'm one person who does not criticize people with money.
It's something that you actually need. Even Jesus, when he had to pay his taxes, he didn't just pay by faith.
No.
He actually sent somebody to go to the lake and tell him, the first fish you catch, open in the mouth, remove a coin, and go and pay the taxes. Because he had to do it. And he says that give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. So if you have to pay your taxes, you have to pay your bills, you have to pay anything with money, you have no choice, you have to do it.
You need it.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And of course, your reaction to that first bit?
I am really enjoying the foundations you guys are laying for us, because without which I think very many of us go astray in our pursuit for money. The conundrum we find ourselves in as young people is that we just look at people who have money, we get excited and pursue this money at whatever cost, which is a problem. But now when you learn that if you really appreciate where money comes from and the gravity of how serious it is to know that money is close to God, like you even, you have told us it is really like God. It's the only thing that God would want to, liken to. So it's very important that because now if you do not clear that, the challenge that we are getting right now is that we are worshipping people who have the money. Right now, the young people are doing dubious things that are really out of the unimaginable right now because of this money. Now, with this kind of truth, I really appreciate it. And when you talk about money answering all things, I think that is serious. That is what we need. Right now, money is, we're having very many questions. I must say, even right now, I'm boiling with so many questions. And I really can't wait to really understand how to amass this money rightly. Thank you so much.
And I think to add on that, Dr. Kingori, the money can actually cause you to start to worship it. And I think that's what we also need to guard against. Because it's such a strong force that it can actually take over the praise of God in people's lives. And that's why we find people who are not godly, they actually just live for the money and do anything for money. They can kill, they can maim. You see, like the mafia bosses. There's nothing they can do, all because of money. They don't fear God. All they want is, they say, show me the money. They just want the money.
And I think we need to qualify when we talk about money. We're talking about money that we receive, number one, in a genuine legal way. Money that is earned from your work, not necessarily your job, but work. Money that comes from investment. So we have to divide here and clarify that we're not talking about blood money. We're talking about good money. Money that we have. You see, money is supposed to be our soldier. We are supposed to command and to tell the money what to do for us, and not to allow the money to speak to us. Because when you allow money to speak to you, like you said now, you become a slave of money, and that's why slaves do anything to go and get the money. So let's make that distinction very clear.
And I like what you're adding and saying that money is supposed to work for you.
Exactly.
Not you working for it.
Exactly. Exactly. Not you working for it, yes.
That which is very interesting. Now let's go to the topic today. It's where to find the money, unlocking the hidden financial opportunities and barriers to success. Give us an introduction to that topic.
All of us are looking for money.
Yes.
But unless we know where it is, we'll never get it. And last Thursday we started this topic, and I shared with you a little bit about what the Bible says in the book of Hosea: "My people perish for lack of knowledge." Meaning that God's people, and when we talk about God's people, we talk about God's children. If you don't have knowledge, and not just money, knowledge is power. If you don't have knowledge, you can be suffering, and yet the answer is just within you. And that's why even this topic of money, we cannot overemphasize the need to have the knowledge on how to tap, how to access, and where to get money. So that's what we did last week, and we are building on that. That there are many ways that you can access money, but you have to have the knowledge. You have to have the key to unlock or to know exactly where it comes from. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So where do you find this money?
I think we started by saying, number one, you find money from people.
Okay.
And I said that the world is inhabited by people, over 7 billion people. And those people, everybody has money. Everyone has money. So if you have a way of getting that money from people, again, in a legal and genuine way, you can access money.
So you're looking at the billions in the world as a market.
As a market. Yeah. As a market, yeah.
So in other words, I hear you say that each one of us are in a market.
Yes.
You said 7 billion, or how many billions?
Over 7 billion.
Over 7 billion.
Yes.
So you're in a market of 7 billion people. So if you're in a market of 7 billion people,
yes,
then it's up to you to now figure out, how do I work in this market
exactly,
and get the money from it, extract it.
And I think now that's where the rubber hits the road. On how do I know who has my money, or how do I know who has the money to use for what I want to do. And And that's why now, you have to be strategic on how to approach that. And we'll be discovering that, because there are many ways on how to access that. Maybe you need to market yourself more. Maybe you need to expose yourself a little bit more. Maybe you need to know where those people with billionaires are. I'll give a good example. A friend of mine went to a prayer retreat, and he was praying that God, he was a poor pastor, and was praying that the Lord would just give him 1 million, just 1 million. And next to the room he was, there was this millionaire who had gone to seek the Lord to give him the wisdom on where to spend the millions he had. So both of them are praying in different rooms. One is saying, Lord, I pray just 1 million to help me do what I want to do. This guy is saying, Lord, show me or give me the wisdom where to use my millions. Now, after the prayers, the guy who needed 1 million had the guy in the other room praying, show me where to use the money. So during coffee time, they got out, they're having a discussion, and one thing is telling him, somebody is telling him, talk to this man. Maybe he may be the answer. But he says, no, how can I do that? I'm waiting for the Lord to send me the money, or one day just send me the money. So they went out of the retreat. He didn't say his problem, and guess what? That was a missed opportunity. Had he mentioned this guy, I believe God probably sent that millionaire to that prayer room, maybe to be an answer to this man. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes it helps to talk out and to share your needs, because you never know who has the key to a destiny.
And I think also when you have plans, let's say a business plan or an idea, that idea will never be actualized, in my view, until you actually share it with somebody else.
Exactly.
Or you look for somebody else who can help you actualize the idea. Or you have a product. Is until you have that product out there in that market.
Yes.
And you're telling people, look, this is my product. I can do this. I have this talent. I have this product I manufactured, to somebody else.
Exactly.
Otherwise, if it remains with you,
it will help you.
Then it will never help you.
Exactly. And you can look and find that most people who are millionaires, it's not because they went and did everything by themselves. They use other people to get where they are. They create employment. They create opportunities. So I think the biggest idea is, how do you convince somebody of your plan, whether it's a business plan or whether it's a vision that you have, to be able to tap the resources of that person to you. That's why I'm saying that money is in people. In fact, my father used to tell me that riches are with people, which is true. So it is that dynamic of being able to access that money that people have, to be able to also use it so that you can also be able to spread somebody else. Yes.
Would I be right by saying that you're also encouraging the people with ideas to go out there and market themselves?
Exactly.
Market their ideas, market their vision, market their business plans, market their products, market their skills. Because even look at like football, for example. It's when it's put on international television. That's how you get to know the EPL, the La Ligas, and the rest of it.
Exactly.
If it was not marketed, the rest of us will not be having our idol clubs in the UK, for example. But it's when they started to market it that it's gone viral. And by us watching, we actually paying for television, watching those televisions, and the television stations are paying rights to those clubs, and they're becoming richer and richer.
Exactly.
So I think one of the things that our people need to do is to learn how to refine an idea or a vision, and then look for these 7 billion people and market themselves to those people. And they should also, in my view, not be discouraged when they are told no. Because you'll talk to a number of people and they will tell you no. But keep on knocking the doors.
Exactly.
You'll be able to get the right person who can buy your idea and who can actually partner with you to the next level.
And this I talk about is knowledge. It all boils down to knowledge. Because unless you know who has it or who needs your product or who needs your service, you will not be able to receive. So knowledge is very important. And I think one of the things I find, like in the US, is that you have pretty much what we call closed-fed meetings of certain categories of people, where they meet, they share ideas, they share their goals, they share opportunities. But to access that is where the main thing is. And even in this country, we have so many people who are talented, but they don't have the key to unlock where the wealthy people of this nation are. And I think that is what we need to focus more. Yeah, how do we empower our young people? How do we empower our graduates to connect them with people, with resources, so that they can be able to maximize their talents and their giftings? Yes.
And actually, when you look at them, even in a traditional sense in this country, you have a farmer, and the farmer has some produce. The farmer will take his produce in one of the market days to the nearest market. He will not remain with his produce in his farm. But whether the market price is on a Thursday like today, he'll carry his mangoes, his bananas, and the rest of it, and make the way to the market.
You're right.
And when he goes to the market, he sets up his table, or her table, and he waits for the customers to come in. So I see you, or I hear you saying, we have this big market. Take your wares, take your skills to the marketplace.
Exchange.
So that they can, because at this market, that's where there's an exchange. You know, you give your services, you give your product, and you get the money.
Exactly. And I think that is what, that to me is what is needed to create as many exchange opportunities and forums, even in our country. Not necessarily the produce, that's one area. There could be another trading exchange, there could be another shares exchange, there could be another ideas exchange. All those exchanges, we need to think out of the box from the conventional of making money and see what can we be able to create those opportunities.
Which is the second one?
Well, I think I said the other one is money is hidden in problems.
Hidden in problems?
Yes. Meaning that people have problems. I have needs. And I'm looking for someone who can solve my problems. So if you can be a problem solver, or someone who is looking for solutions for people's problems, you'll be paid for that. And if you look, for example, in our country, we have a lot of problems in this country. And those problems can be a factory of losing money to people. So again, it just requires the wisdom, the knowledge to discover and to know how do I create solutions for the problems. Yes.
You see, I'm just remembering about this famous inventor, is it Newton, who sat under a tree and an apple fell on his head. And instead of complaining, he thought, why did that happen? So he converted what could have been a problem to a discovery. But a lot of us, I think what is happening is that we so much dwell into what is happening to us, the problems that are happening to us, without asking ourselves, this is like an apple which has fell on my head. I've been hit, so I'm in trouble. But what is more to this trouble? You know, what can I learn from it? What can I gain from it? What can I discover from it? And it's when there's a problem in your life that you can also look around and see, are there many other people with this problem? And if I can come with a solution to this problem, then I can be able to monetize it.
Of course.
Because I have a solution, you know.
Exactly. But what happens, we have many people who we analyze, we are always analyzing problems. And we can sit the whole day analyzing. But they say, too much analysis leads to paralysis. So we need to stop analyzing and delve straight away into solution making. And they start right in our homes, in our communities, in churches, in the governments. There's a whole lot of needs that people have. Now, the biggest problem is that to be able to know the problem and to create a solution and to package that solution to be acceptable now. That is now where knowledge, education, information and connection comes. Yeah, but solving problems is important.
One of the leading banks in this country started in Moranga. And the way they started is very interesting because the founder noted that farmers were being paid for their coffee.
Yes.
And they were getting checks. And those days, checks used to take 2 weeks or something like that to clear. And then he realized this is a problem. First of all, it's a problem because somebody has been paid. You want to pay school fees, you want to pay this, but you have a check which will take a number of days to clear, not like today it clears within 24 hours or something like that.
Yes.
And he said, why don't I get your checks and I will pay you the money, but I'll cut a small amount as a discount, you know, whatever that percentage was.
Yes.
And you get the money now. He started check discounting, and from there he started to build one of the most successful banks in this country. Why? Because he solved a problem that the farmers had.
And you have the same thing in the US, Dr. Avi. And I think whoever did that must have brought that concept from the US.
Okay.
And it's a big company actually. People get checks, particularly very poor, elderly people. And so they go to this company and they countersign the check to the company, and they are paid on time. So the person holds the check, like you mentioned, until the due date. So out of that, you make a lot of money. And you talk about it in terms of the laws of, the law of large numbers. Small, but it adds up to something big. So that's one of the solving problem we're talking about. And there are many others actually. In fact, I wish we can have a workshop or a symposium whereby people can sit down and start looking those things critically, because there are levels of deep thinking that you can't achieve when you think by yourself. But when you're in a group, a group, you can be able to stretch your mind and start thinking, what can we do in this community? What can we do in our family? What can we do in our church? And you'll be surprised the ideas that are there. Yes.
And I think I hear you say that when there's a problem,
yes,
you can look for a solution and monetize the solution. Therefore, in my thinking, I'm just thinking aloud and saying, the best way to look for an opportunity is not asking which is a successful nyama choma joint here so that I start another nyama choma, or which is a successful boutique here so that I can start a boutique.
Yes.
It should start with what is the problem that people are experiencing in my community. And then you analyze the problems people are facing.
Yes.
And in that analysis, you will now ask yourself, which is a common problem?
Yes.
Which one is with so many people within my community?
Yes.
And then you sit down and ask yourself, what is a solution to this problem? Or can I offer a solution to this problem?
Exactly.
Then whatever solution you come up with, then you can come back to these people and tell them, I have a solution.
Exactly.
And if you come with a solution, you can monetize it.
Exactly. No, you're very right. You're right. Yeah. For example, when I go to our towns here, I find the issue of parking a big problem. A big problem. And I was thinking the other day, if the county government can contract, say, a third-party contractor, and give them the management of parking, like what you have in the US, you have these parking meters, and they're well managed, whereby you pay for the time you parked your car. That's another revenue source of money. And it used to be here before time.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, people jammed it and
they jammed it. Partly because it was maybe centrally managed. But if it's given to a third party contractor who have enough personnel to be able to supervise all that, that's another problem we can solve in this country, because the issue of parking in this country is huge.
Which other opportunity do you see before you take our short break
That's a good question. I'm still trying to correlate my thinking to the needs on the ground. So when you come back from the break, I'll probably share one or two.
You'll share one or two.
Yes.
So my dear viewer, we are going to take a short break, and I would encourage you to send the questions to Dr. Kingori. We are discussing about where to find the money, unlocking hidden financial opportunities and barriers to success. So please, using the numbers which is provided to you on your screen, please send those questions, and Dr. Kingori will be able to answer the questions. At the same time, please take time, if you're watching us on YouTube, Please subscribe. It will help us with the algorithm. Like and also share. In case you're watching us on Facebook, thank you very much. In case you're watching us on Faith Today Television, we are very, very grateful to be with you. So with that, let's reconnect in a few minutes. God bless.
All of us want to succeed. Nobody here wants to fail. I have no doubt you have a deep-seated desire how to succeed, but you wonder how. There are principles in this book. I call them keys. There are 7 of them that I have elaborated, that I have discussed in this book, and I have no doubt when you read this book, well, you will succeed. 7 keys to success. I have no doubt when you read this book, you will succeed. Failure is not your place to be. You can be successful by reading 7 keys to success. Call that number, send a message, and we will respond to you and send you a copy of this book. God bless you and see you soon.
Once again, welcome, my dear viewer. It's been a pleasure having you in the first session. And we continue with the topic on where to find the money. With us is Bishop Dr. Jackson Kingori. And Dr. please continue with where you left and tell us the third place where we can find money.
The third area that I would consider or remember this morning is what I call money hides in goods, products, and services. What I mean is that every day you are either paying for a product or for a service. And I think we need to come to a point and ask ourselves, when you people pay for my service or my products, instead of being a consumer, can you also be a supplier, whereby people will come and look for your products? Now, when you look at the world today, or you look wherever we are, all of us are gifted or endowed differently with talents, different talents and giftings. And some of those talents and giftings, they need to be packaged in a way that you can be able to sell your gifting and your talents, so that you're not just consuming other people. I see, for example, all of us want to put Nike or these brand names, and that's okay.
Balenciaga.
Exactly. But have we ever asked ourselves, how can someone put Faith shirt or Faith Today shirt or T-shirt? Because there is a market of people who needs your goods and services. But how do you do that? So money is found in goods, services, and products. And so my role here is to provoke you with listening, to start thinking and ask yourself, how can I be able to be a provider of service, a provider of products, a provider of goods, and be able to market for people to know that, I can also do it. Yes.
Do you see a problem in the way we have been socialized as a country? Because when you look at the global Kenya, for example, we are more of a consuming nation, net importer, instead of exporting. So even when you come to our level here, you find a lot of us, we just consume and produce nothing.
Yeah, and I would think part of that is because we have very weak networking systems. And everybody is trying to sell their own things or try to do on their own, on an individual basis. If we can create synergy and create strong networks that are informed of the markets and with people who are also expertise in that area, I think that's one way you can be able to access the markets out there. Because you can't be ignorant as you take your service or goods out there. You have to be knowledgeable about the product, and not just knowledgeable about the product, but also knowledgeable about the market that you're going to. So we need to build strong networks within our communities, within our nation, networks that involve people of expertise and knowledgeable within the market and the product. It goes again to packaging and branding. Yes.
A lot of these companies in the US, and you've been there for a long time,
Yeah.
they just started, might be in somebody's backyard. A good case is, for example, Amazon. Amazon
Yes.
started in the backyard of Jeff Bezos,
Yes.
in a garage whereby he was renting out videos.
Yes.
And today it's into almost everything, The same with some of these big names. They started, like Dell started assembling computers in their backyard. Why don't we see that here?
A couple of reasons, Dr. Ali. Number one is I don't think our people have what we call the staying power around an invention that you find. And secondly, we get distracted by wanting to do so many things at the same time. So lack of power, distraction, and also I would say the inability to incorporate others that can be able to propel that product to another level. For example, you talk about the computers, even Bill Gates, they started 3 of them. Eventually, of course, they parted ways. Yeah. But there was that teamwork, because teamwork creates energy. So I think those 3 things are very important. So that when you start something, be focused on it, have continuity. Even when because they also went down sometimes. Some of them want to give up. But they had the staying power. They kept pushing and pushing. And then they were also able to connect with people who gave them the city capital to be able to invest in that product and give them kind of a lift. So that's also needed here. And I think also that is lacking a lot, because if you go to our banks, they will not take certain risks, particularly if you have no collateral damage. I mean, America, what I know is that as long as you have a good business plan, and you have some good, credit, not necessarily security, but good credit, the advantage of money. And everybody needs capital to be able to take their goods or their services to the next level. Yes.
And I think we also need to believe in ourselves, because when you look at even people like Meta, Google, they started at the universities.
Yes.
Stanford, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And that idea in a university, by university students.
Yes.
And they started servicing the university community. And they patented the idea and started to look for more and more customers. And today they've gone global. So I think there's a challenge to even a lot of our young people who have these degrees. You have a first degree, second degree, even a third degree. There's something you can do with that degree. In the area of your expertise, I think there's something you can still do.
A good case, I have a son who is into software engineering. My son started he was developing an application. And he invested so much money. And every time he kept on putting money until I got to a point and said, when are you going to ever reap from all this money? And he told me, you know what, Dad? Until I see this this application, or gets me to a level of $1 million or plus, I'm not giving up. So today, right now, the application he started creating now, he's being offered millions to sell it, but he don't sell it.
He's not selling it.
Yes. So what you're saying is very important. Yeah, that being able to have staying power and not giving up, keep on pushing and pushing. It may cost you, something good will cost you money, but you have to keep on believing in yourself and keep on pushing and pushing. Yes.
And I think it's also adding to the discussion you had last time.
Yes.
Don't go to college so that you can look for a job.
No.
Go to college and look for work.
Exactly.
Look for an application that you can develop. You're a software engineer. Instead of thinking about a job, think about, yes, I've gone through this computer engineering training. What application can I develop that can be able to solve a problem in the community? And in the process of that, I can be able to monetize. So we need to also change our mindset. You find a lot of people have agricultural degrees, but they're waiting to be employed as an agricultural extension officer, and there are no jobs. So ask yourself, yes, I've done this, whatever. How can I, for example, let's say, take a tomato or a potato and make it multiply 5 times more than it is doing today? And then there I come up with my own seedlings. For example, we have somebody who has developed, I don't want to call the name, a variety of apples. They call it something apples. And he branded, I don't know, 2 different trees with indigenous and whatever. And today, he has a brand in this country and he's exporting it.
Actually, that's exactly what I was saying about my son. He was doing engineering. Even today, as I speak to you, he has never graduated. Up to date, we're talking about almost 10 years. But guess what? 10 years. This young man is getting about $300,000 every year for his skills.
For his skills, yes.
And I asked him, why don't you finish your degree? He said, Dad, what for? I have the skills that's needed. So let me sell my skills and retire early. So I agree with you what you're saying. Finishing education is important, don't get me wrong. But there are times whereby you can focus on the skill that gives you what you want, and that is going to your education.
Wonderful. Let's go to the next one.
All right, so ideas, products is very important. Then the other one is money is hidden in vision. Vision. Yeah, vision. Many of us know the word provision, meaning that if you have a vision, you'll be provided for by your vision. So what am I saying is that I'm saying that it is important that we be men and women of vision. And vision can be born in many ways. You can create your employment, or you can create your income around your vision. I've seen people who have maximized their vision out of their birthday. You pick your birthday, you create a vision statement, and now with the social media that is available, you create a story out of your birthday. I've seen people who have gone through very difficult experience in life, even abuse, very traumatic experiences, and they ride on that and say, I don't care what people think about me. I'm not worried about the shame. I'll create my vision around my experience. And they package and they share it out, and they're making a lot of money.
So in other words, everything that happens to you is a story.
Is a story.
And it depends on how you look at it. Because there are some people who, when bad things happen to them, they hide under the table, they cry day out,
Exactly.
But there's somebody, even after going through, let's say, a traumatic experience, he comes out, packages himself, and as he shares the problem, he's helping somebody else.
Who's going to say yes?
And before you know it, he might even become an expert in helping people in that field.
It's very important, very important. I think we need to get to a point whereby we stop worrying about people's opinion and ask yourself, what I have seen, what I've experienced, or what I have, what can I do with it to help me go to the next level? And I think that's a very big statement. I have a friend of mine, for example, a lady in North Carolina. This lady was so gifted. In fact, she became the first black president of a major university in North Carolina. And I talked to her, I said, and she, she had great connections, including the governor. I said, why don't you build or develop something allowed what you're doing, what your giftings, and just develop that vision. And I said, I have people who can be able to finance you. Well, anyway, she didn't think about it. She didn't take advantage of it. And guess what? It died. So what I'm trying to say is that there are times God will allow you to come to a place, either connect with people, or connect with an idea, or connect with an experience, and you need to know, to discern the seasons of the time and build something allowed that. It may start small, but for example, let me give you this church. What you're doing here is the vision of Bishop Dongo. Now, out of that vision, look how many people he has employed. A good number of people he has employed. Why? Because he had the vision. Was it easy to manage the vision? It was difficult. Was it easy to promote the vision? No. But with the time and consistency and persistency, it brings you to a place whereby you can now start getting an income that can help others because of vision. So vision is very important.
So yes. Pursue your vision.
Pursue your vision with passion.
With passion, yes.
Yes, yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
And people get so much convinced, especially when you are passionate about what you do. It overcomes a lot of opposition.
Yeah.
But if you look shaky,
yes,
you are not able, people will not follow you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And people, Dr. Mungai, don't give, people will not support you because they like you. People will give and support you for a cause that you believe in.
Yes.
Or a vision.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have a vision, it will be provided for. There will be provision for it. There are many, many people that are waiting to hear what is it you're doing. And of course, when I talk about vision, it is not just a line statement. It's something that you also package and create a structure for it. So that as you talk about it, it has a base that people can be able to see. And you know, we're doing like this Widows Project. That's a vision by itself. And now when you share with people, even like, for example, this year, we shared with some banks. And they jump in and said, that's good, we want to help. 2 years before, we tried the same bank. They didn't want to because the structure was not already in place. So when you have a vision, build a structure around it. And with the time, there'll be provisions for that vision.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Before you take the questions, because there are so many questions here.
Well, I think the other one is just a repeat. I will not do much on it, and that is money hide in work and not in jobs. Now, there's a difference between work and job. A job is what many people do for a living.
Yes.
When you wake up sometimes not very happy, but you have to go and do that job because you need that check at the end of the month. Work, according to my definition, is what you are wired for, what you are created to do. And I said last time that the Bible talks about God will bless the work of your hands. He that does not work should not eat. So there is something that impresses God about work that is different from job. Now, if you ask how many people are looking for a job today, almost looking for a job. But if you ask people how many people want to work, they will say, I want to work. But when you tell them it's not a job, they probably are not interested. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. There's a lot of work everywhere, but not jobs everywhere. And work is not rewarded by a salary as per se. It may be rewarded, but it's not always rewarded as a job, So, what you carry, your passion, because I believe when God created us here, there was a purpose for each one of us. So there are things I'm passionate about that I can do whether I'm paid or not. Like what I'm doing here. Yeah. I'm not paid. But I'm doing it with all my heart because that's what my passion is. The person who is playing the keyboard in church, if you know that's what you're cut for, even if you're not paid, do it with all your ability, your strength, and passion. Because it is that gifting that will make a way for you to be recognized and to appear before the kings, as the Bible says. So when you know what you're cut for, and you know what is your work, and you do it, actually you start doing it without a pay, you find sooner or later it will bring avenues of income. I don't know how I'm getting.
I like what you're saying, and I think from that I would just encourage somebody who does not have a job. Of course, you've been told not to look for jobs, but if you don't have a job, then don't be idle, because you can work.
Yes.
I think that's what I hear you saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You can work.
Yes.
There's something you can do. Yes, you're not paid. Yes, there's no salary. But there's something that is inside of you that you can go out there on a daily basis and work it out.
Yes.
And that is where most likely your future is.
You'll be discovered there.
You'll be discovered there.
Yes.
So don't stay at home. Don't stay in Geshagi, we call them mungedo, you know. Don't get into taking alcohol and being a drug abuser, waiting for somebody to give you some job, writing applications and nobody's inviting you for interviews, and then sleeping from morning to evening. Just go and look for work.
Yes.
And in that work, somebody will discover you. Now, let's take some questions. And thank you very much, viewers, for the wonderful questions, and also for communicating with us. We're here because of you. Starting with Jennifer from Roysambu, here you're loud and clear. You are saying, I'm enjoying the show here with my colleagues. You are so much blessed by what you are hearing, I believe, and thank you very much. Somebody also is saying, asante sana Dr. Francis, unatusaidia sana. Your show is very educative. I hope ujaongeza anguka nayo. Now, let's go to the serious stuff. Hello, Doc. This is James. I work as a fruit vendor, and there are skills or mindset that can help me. Are there skills or mindsets that can help me identify business opportunities?
I think to answer that question, I would say there are a lot of them. But guess what? I want to tell the person who's asking that question that personally, I would advise that you locate other vendors who are doing the same job with you, and have a team, have kind of a group discussion. Start to brainstorm. How can we be able to take this thing to the next level? Because you as a person may be limited, but when you bring other people who are doing the same thing, you start now stretching your minds, and you probably get a solution. So look for other vendors that are doing the same thing, that are passionate on the same kind of business, and start an idea discussion on that level. Then from that level, you can take it to the next level. Yes.
And I would want to add to what Dr. Aria said. James, I think when you look at your fruit business, because you're in a fruit vendor, so you're in the fruit business, look at it in a bigger way. Look at it from the supply chain part of it. Where do you get your fruits? Can you do what we call backward integration? In other words, can you plant some fruits somewhere? Do you have a farm you can raise somewhere and plant those fruits? And in a year or 2 or 3 years, you'll be able to be supplying yourself with fruits. You see, so you have expanded your business. So you're not just selling fruits, but you're also growing fruits.
You're maximizing the profit.
Yes, and maximizing the profits. Then when you have that farm, might be you have hired or raised, you can even send some of your fruits to processors. You could process juices which can be used for something else. So in other words, look at the business in totality. You know, when you're looking at your fruit vendor business, are there places you can supply? Let's say like some hospitals. Can you have, and I'm coming from a thought whereby I once was supplying NAS airport service then. And there's somebody I realized was actually cutting potatoes. Somewhere in Ruaraka, I don't want to mention the name. And they could package them and sell to these airline caterers. So you could do the same. You could actually come up with a way whereby instead of just hawking your fruits, you cut the fruits and supply, let's say, to a hospital in a sanitized way. So you're taking to hospitals or any other establishment for that matter.
And location also, Dr. Mungai.
Yes.
Location is also important. I believe that there are businesses that will thrive better away from where you're starting. So also consider location.
Also location.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's come to the next one. I'm watching you loud and clear from Mlolongo. Thank you very much. Niko na pesa ya kuanza biashara, but I'm fearing it might not work as I expect it to work. What should I do?
Number one, don't fear. Don't fear. People who end up succeeding, they say you can fail twice or 3 or 4 times. But if your passion is there, you keep on pushing it. So don't be afraid. Take what it takes to start the business. After you do that, God will open the door for you to the next level. So my answer is don't fear.
Don't fear.
Yes.
So from Mlolongo, the answer is don't fear.
Yes.
And I would also want to add from a marketing point of view that one of the things that can also boost your confidence is by doing a lot of research. So in whatever field that you have identified you want to be in, do more research. If you say you want to start in Mlolongo, whatever business it is, go around Mlolongo, ask yourself how many businesses are doing the same thing I'm doing, how are they doing, what is the market like, who are the competitors, do some small analysis.
Yes.
And the more you do that analysis, the more you'll be able to see how you can position yourself differently from your other competitors. And that, in a way, also gives you confidence. Or what did you say, Enoch?
No, I think I agree with you, because now we are breaking barriers. Because for someone to ask such a question, it means he has been really taking a lot of time to consider what he has been, trying to venture into. Now the enemy comes in to bring in the fear, But I like the idea that you've said. Do analysis, but don't take it far.
Yeah.
Let it not paralyze you. Like doctor said, you do much analysis, it leads to paralysis. So I agree with you. Market research is very important. Do the survey, but it's also important to start. Because Bishop always encourages us here that do not be afraid to start, because small things grow. Start small, and then you make it.
And I think this is where also a business plan comes in. However small, whether it's 1 page, 2 pages, whereby you actually write a short, small business plan.
Good.
And it is able to give you the ability to see your business from start to end on paper before you actually even commit your first shilling.
Exactly.
You'll be able to see what would I expect to get and all that. Yeah. So let's go to the next question. It says, I am a barber. I work as a barber, and I feel competition is very high. What other opportunities might be there in this industry? I feel like I can quit. Please help.
Baba.
Nakata watu nywele.
I don't know right now. I don't think can't think of anything right now. But
Yes.
I thought the demand for barbers is very high. I think again, you need to explore the geographical location that he is located.
Yeah.
Maybe where he is right now. There's a lot of competition.
Sure.
Where I live, sometimes I have to wait almost 30 minutes, an hour to get the barber. So location could be very important.
And some of us, we do go to a barber almost every week, or even twice a week. So there is so much business there. I think maybe, like you said, some of the people, the location is the problem.
Yes.
Maybe you just need to locate to another place because you already have the skills. You just need to change a few things.
Yeah, and also probably, I don't know how he does it. I don't know what other services are within the barber shop. Maybe he need to integrate other services, like a bit of massage, or maybe go an extra way, maybe create within the barber. When your customer comes in, they get a cup of tea, or they get whatever it is.
Adding value.
Adding value. So you just need to tweak a little bit, see what you can do better than the other barber next to you.
I think I'd add, again, from a marketing background, I would say your issue also seems to be much about the competition. I would ask you the question, have you analyzed the competitors? What is it that is different between you and them? And is there something that you can learn from that? Not necessarily to replicate what the others are doing, but to excel.
Yes.
To do it differently.
Exactly.
That way, you'll be able to differentiate yourself and attract more people.
Exactly.
In addition to looking at the location you are in, as Bishop is saying, you might be in a location which is actually has a lot of competition. We in strategy we call it we have red oceans and blue oceans. You know, there's a lot of blood in that, so they call it red oceans. So you might be in a place where it's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And might be you've tried all the things we are talking about.
Yes.
Consider going to a place whereby there's less competition.
Exactly.
Or doing it differently.
Exactly.
Or adding more services. You know? Then there's another question here. Is it advisable not to tell my wife I'm starting a business with borrowed funds? Amma, how can I go about that? She is always against it. I'm Joseph from Kiambu. Joseph, hey, given as your name here, your wife will be on your case.
Well, I don't know about that, because sometimes you have, different personalities have different reaction to risks, because business is a risk. There are people who we call as risk averse. There are others we call them risk preferrer. And the others we call them risk, neutral, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So your wife may be a risk averse. She doesn't want risks, but you are a risk preferrer. And most people who are actually end up in good business, they are risk preferrers. They believe in taking risks. So I think the biggest thing, what I would advise is, first of all, pray about it. Take time to pray about it. And pray that the Lord will also soften your wife. But also have a comparing reason, not just reason, have a comparing statistical business plan that you can share with your wife and try to buy her on board to understand. Because if you start both of you, there is more strength and than when you start by yourself. So my advice in short is try the best you can. Take time, don't be in a hurry. Take time as you pray, as you try to bring her on board. But don't do it alone if you're married. You don't want to break your marriage because of business. Yes.
So I think, Joseph, this is a very good opportunity for you to refine your plans and make them very, very good, such that when you go to your wife, as the doctor is saying, she'll just buy the idea. So don't just assume that by you starting on your own, you are right. Might be, you need to ask yourself, why is it that she's against it? And address those issues.
My wife has been like that most of the time, because she doesn't like risks. But over time, I have known how to navigate and get her on board. So most spouses are like that.
You have to close them.
You have to, exactly. That's why I like that. Close them, yes.
Yes. Now, good morning, Daktari. I'm Karen from Morwaka. I do real estate business. I'm thinking of trying partnership with other companies. Is it possible, and are there issues I need to foresee?
That's very possible. Yeah, I think I don't know what they call it. I'm trying to get it. When you create synergy, there is what do you call it in marketing, whereby you bring people together, both in ideas and finances.
Okay. Partnership or cooperation?
Yeah, something like that. So I would advise it's important. If you feel like you've had the dead end, or you feel like you don't have much energy, I think it's okay to partner with other people, because it injects new blood and new market opportunities and new levels of excitement. Yes.
Okay. So it's basically now just to know how to go about it. How do you rate with this other company?
Exactly.
Once that is sorted out, then you are able to minimize the risk.
So you don't lose your identity also.
Also, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's something that can be discussed on a personal basis. They can get in touch with Dr. Ali or myself, and you can help her one-on-one with that.
And then you'll incorporate might be a new company or something, or you're working as a partnership whereby everybody has got their own company, but you are collaborating.
Exactly. Collaboration is also,
You can also collaborate.
Yeah.
So you can collaborate. You can also jointly start a company, and of which now then, if it's limited by guarantee or by shares, then it means that each one of you will have certain number of shares, which will determine your decision-making ability.
Exactly.
Now, are there secrets I can use to see the opportunities others are not seeing in my business? Secrets I can use to see opportunities others are not seeing in my business.
Oh, sure, a lot of them, a lot of them. And I think that someone like that will need to visit a business consultant to be able to share, like I've said, one-on-one. Because you need to understand where this person is coming from, and what are their strengths, and what are they willing to risk. So yes, the answer is yes. Yeah.
And actually, from what Dr. is saying, if you go to a consultant, like a business consultant, you'll be able to use some strategy tools. And these are the secrets that you are talking about. Because there's no magic in this, So don't go to look for Kamote. Kamote will not work.
No.
But if you come to a business consultant like me, I'll be able to use strategy tools and help you analyze your business. Like a business model canvas, you can look at that. It is a one-pager which makes you understand who are your customers, what are the relationships you keep, what are your key resources, etc., sources of revenues, cost and all that. And you're able to analyze your business using strategy tools. So with that, even things like strategy tools like SWOT analysis.
Exactly.
Those are things that will uncover the opportunities, where we're looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in your business. And from there, you come up with strategies, and once you implement the strategies, then you're able to do something that somebody else will wonder what's the secret. That's where the secret is. Now, the last question. Hi, Dr. Jackson. Dennis from CBD here. Your insights are amazing. I need to start a business. Huku Town. Is there any proven tactic you think can help me become successful?
The first one is write down your business plan. Write down your business plan. And then discuss it with a business guru, or some of the things we're talking about here. Because maybe you need not just by you probably need to also to look for somebody who can do your finance. Like you talked about the other time, the check, whereby you can come and be able to share your ideas and your, what you want to do. So that's the first thing. Start, write down your business plan. Secondly, learn it through a business guru. Thirdly, determine whether you have the capital to finance your business. If you don't have the capital to finance your business, share your ideas with an investor and see how you can start. Yes.
And I think, Dennis, just to add on that, the better the idea, the better or the easier it is for you to attract an investor.
Yes.
Refine your idea, seal all the loopholes, put it down on paper, be able to talk it through to somebody and make that person interested in investing. And Daktari here is one of the people who can actually invest in your business, or can get you somebody to invest in your business. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Let's take some parting shot from Enoch and then Dr. Jackson.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. You are such an interesting gentleman. He's not just a host, but a business consultant, giving us all these ideas, and of course also getting it from Dr. Jackson Kingori. The spiritual perspective is something we didn't have, and for the young people that is very, very interesting, because that is what we need. The conundrum we find ourselves in is that most of us, the young people, have these ideas, but getting them out there and getting funding, it's not easy. The juxtaposition is, in the US, you talked about these startups that succeed, in just a flash, because probably they have these finances, they have the family backgrounds that back them up. When you come in Africa, we've had this challenge of, the finances and someone to hold your hand. It's been a challenge. But I like this discussion because it has really now brought on a plane that you don't have to wait for you to pile up all these ideas. You must move out there. You must share your idea, because people are dying there with their ideas, and that is not enough. And I also love to marry it with the scriptures. When you look at the scriptures, I was trying to marry all this and understand how this money thing works. The Bible talks about a poor man, who saved the city.
With his wisdom.
With his wisdom.
Yes.
Imagine,
yes.
The irony, he's wise,
yes.
he's saving the city,
yes.
but he's poor.
Yeah.
So having knowledge is not enough.
Yes.
You also need the money.
Yes.
Those two things are very important. So I like the idea that for all those who are following us, most of the young people, do not think alone. These gentlemen have shared with us the idea is that move out there work as a group, do not work alone, share these ideas, bring them on plane, because that is how scripture works, and that's how we are going to really unlock this wealth. And I'm very certain if you invite also other people, I mean your networks, to tag along and be part of this network, there's so much you will learn. I am personally gleaning a lot, and I really can't wait to break all these barriers. 2024 is our year.
Thank you very much, Enoch.
Sure.
Dr. Jackson, your parting shots.
Well, I want to encourage somebody there who is fearful or afraid to start your business. Remember, the acronym of the word fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. Now, 80% or even 85% of what you fear never happens. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The Bible says that Elisha's men falls 7 times, but he still picks himself up. So if you have the idea there that you want to start a business, please don't be afraid. Help, there's a lot of help you can get from some of us who are here and others who are not here. So you just need to run in your vision, write down your vision, because it's very important to be crystal clear what you want to do. Write it down, capture your thoughts, and again, pray over it, seek counsel and advice, and then go to the implementation level. And then the issue of money will be provided where there's a very clear, articulate vision. Money is not a problem. Thank you.
So thank you very much once again, Dr. Kingori, for this insightful discussion on where to find money. And for our viewer, thank you very much for staying tuned in. We're here because of you. Stay connected with us, and we'll be making sure that we bring talents like Dr. Kingori who can actually add some value to your business. Reach out to this on those numbers, and we'll always continue to connect and help you sort out the issues that you have. With that, may God bless you very much. Shalom. Until next time, God bless.
Amen.